Does drawing stress you out? Shamelessly invest in a coloring book, adult or otherwise. You'll have the perk of accomplishing something without having to face a blank page. Coloring's fun, guys. Grab some colored pencils. You can even just print coloring pages out for free. You don't have to go buy a coloring book. And you can just sit in bed, have the TV on in the background, and just color. Number four. One, two, three, four. Go for a walk. The best. Being outside does wonders for anxiety. Pay attention to the sounds around you, the feel of the wind against your skin, and the smells around you. Keep your phone in your pocket, or better yet, at home, and do your best to stay in the moment by focusing on your senses and your environment. Start with a short jaunt around the block and see how you feel. Taking walks for anxiety is definitely a huge helper. It can just kind of feel very isolating to sit in your house and, live with your anxiety or depression, whatever it is. Going outside, seeing the world, seeing other people reminds you that you're not alone in this world. It's a large world. Everyone around has their own struggles and situations and things that they're facing. Not to take validity in any way away from your feelings, but actually the opposite, to feel better that you see these other people, these other beings, knowing that they're facing their own struggles too. I'm like weirdly comforted by, there's tennis courts near my house, and I constantly hear people playing tennis, and I'm like weirdly comforted by them being out there from like 6 a.m. to like 9 p.m. because I just like know there's other people outside doing things, living their lives. I can just like always see them and hear them. So I think taking a walk can be really helpful. I will say, what I like to do, because I can get a little bored if I'm just listening to nothing, is to bring my phone and put on a podcast. So no social media, but listen to a podcast. One that could be a guided meditation or something inspiring. If you're having anxiety about laziness, listen to a motivational podcast, or if you just need a good laugh, listen to something funny. Number 5, wish other people happiness. You only need 10 seconds to do this practice from author and former Google pioneer Chad Mangdan. I might have pronounced that name wrong. Throughout the day, randomly wish for someone to be happy. This practice is all in your head. You don't have to tell the person, you just have to set the positive energy. Try it on your commute, at the office, at the gym, or while you wait in line. Bonus points if you find yourself annoyed or upset with someone and you stop and mentally wish them happiness instead. I think that's a great thing. I think it's a very mature thing to do, and it can help you with your own mental health. Number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 6. Look up. Not just from the screen in front of you, although definitely do that, but at the stars. Whether you're taking out the trash or coming home late, pause and take a few deep breaths into your belly. As you look up at the stars, let the cosmos remind you that life is bigger than your worries or inbox. Definitely. That's kind of like what I was talking about with going on the walk. It's like the world is so big. There's so much going on. There's so much happiness, so much craziness and chaos and just good and bad and everything. It just can get you out of your own head to kind of think about that. Number 7, brew on it. Making a cup of tea is a deeply cherished practice in many cultures around the world. Settle into the practice and focus on each step. How do the leaves smell when you pull them out? What does the water look like when you first add the tea? Watch the steam rise from the cup, and feel the heat of the cup against your hands. If you have time, sip your tea without action. Don't like tea. You can easily do this practice while making a rich aromatic French pressed coffee. I don't like either of those things, but I have other tips I can do, I guess. Number 8. Number 8. Number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Focus on one thing at a time. Yes. Your to-do list can be a form of mindfulness if you do it right. Set a timer for 5 minutes and give one task your full and undivided attention. No checking your phone, no clicking on notifications, no browsing online, absolutely no multitasking. Let that one task take center stage until the timer goes off. This is something that I have found really helps me, especially when I know I have like a busy day ahead of me and I have a lot of things going on at work, and then I know I have to film a video and run this errand and that errand. I definitely can get wrapped up in my phone and stuck on it. I think my anxiety makes me go to the phone more, but then it's actually a double-edged sword, and it's hurting me because I'm spending too much time on it, wasting my time. So when I put the phone away and I say, okay, I'm not going to look at the phone till noon, I'm going to, sit down, do exactly what I need to do at the times I'm doing it, set the allotted time, but then also set time for me to relax, to look at the phone while I'm having lunch or whatever it is. I found that to be really helpful. It's hard practice to discipline myself around, but okay, so that leads us into number 9. Leave your phone behind. Do you really need to bring your phone with you when you walk into the other room, when you go to the bathroom, when you sit down to eat? Leave your phone in the other room. Instead of worrying about it, sit and breathe before you start eating. Take a moment for yourself and your needs in the bathroom. Your phone will still be there when you're done. So true. I need to follow this advice. I find myself bringing my phone to the bathroom, bringing my phone everywhere. I'm way too addicted to the phone. I'm way too much on the phone. So it's a great habit. It's so cliche, one that everyone's trying to do, but really to just chill a little bit with the phone. Number 10. Number 10. Number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn household tasks into a mental break. I do that. I love this article. I'm like, oh my god, it's so relatable, guys, to me. Instead of obsessing over your to-do list or clutter, let yourself relax into the moment. Dance while you do the dishes, or focus on the way the soap runs down the tiles while you clean the shower. Take 5 slow breaths while you wait for the microwave to stop. Daydream while you fold the laundry. So, when I read turn household tasks into a mental break, I took it a little differently. So, how I turn household tasks into a mental break is I do them in between other tasks. So, while I'm working, I might write a bunch of important work emails, and then my break from work is to go do a couple loads of laundry. And then I'll come back, right? And then I'll do something else, and then I'll go make my bed, and then I'll come back, and then I'll have lunch, and then I'll change the laundry or whatever. So I personally, I don't know if that's just me because I like things so orderly and clean and whatever, but I can kind of free up some of my anxiety by doing my tasks that I have to do around the house, just kind of slowly and one thing at a time, and doing them personally, I used to have a diary, and I would write in it like a couple times a week, and I actually love going back and reading it, like seeing what was going on in my life. But I just don't have the discipline or the patience to do that these days. But I kind of like the concept of writing the 3 best things that happened today. That's fun. I honestly might like go Amazon buy a journal now, and just has like memories just to have and remember what was going on in your life. I even love to like look back at my calendar and see like what I was doing a year ago or whatever. So I like that the concept a lot. Number 12. 12. Pause at stoplights. As much as no one wants to admit it, you can't time travel or make cars move out of your way when you're late. I wish. Instead of rushing, bring your focus inward at every stoplight. While you wait, sit upright and still and take 4 slow, deep breaths. This practice sounds easy on a leisurely drive, but the real benefits come when your anxiety and stress feel like they're taking up the whole car. I definitely have like major road rage, and it stems from my commute before I was working from home was really bad. It was like so long, and there was even a time that I was in the car during a snowstorm, coming from my work to my home, which should without any traffic, 35 minutes. Normal amount of traffic, 50 minutes. A lot of traffic when it's really bad, like an hour and 20. I was in the car on this day for 6 hours when it was snowing. I think I developed like PTSD over this situation. It was dangerous. There was piles of cars. I was sobbing my eyes out. I could not get home. There was so many cars. It was the worst. So I definitely have road rage, because I feel like I wasted so much time just like sitting in the car when I could have been doing other things. I don't know how I did that commute. I only did it because I was getting such a big pay jump from my last job to that job, and I I wouldn't normally commute, like be down to commute that far, but I have road rage, and I could benefit from trying to pause and take some breaths at stoplights. Number 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Log out of all your social media accounts. While social media has its uses, it can also contribute to your anxiety and interrupt your productivity. Yeah, that's an understatement. You'll be amazed at how frequently you check your social media accounts without thinking. So log out. Being forced to type in a password again will slow you down or stop you altogether. So true. We're literally like, I have no patience for slow Wi-Fi or websites that aren't immediately like user friendly and they're slow and whatever. So having to type in a password would definitely deter me. When you actually want to check in, set a time limit or an intention. That way you won't end up feeling behind on your work or guilty for spending 20 minutes looking at a stranger's puppy. You also may want to delete an account or two while you're at it. A recent study found that using multiple social media platforms was associated with anxiety in young adults. chill.